The prophet of thought. Open your mind, 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 open your mind. Open your mind, 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 open your mind.
Open your mind. Peace, folks. Once again, on the T.P.O.T. YouTube page, we are back with another hard-hitting doubleheader. Open your minds.
Houses of power, houses of power, houses of power, houses of power.
And so a community is where you control your police, you control your commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a hood. Huh? Well, what about the Negroes that get out? Oh, well, say, my cousin, they say he's a multi-millionaire, almost got $1 billion.
The prophet of thought.
3 PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hears these sirens and look through the mirror and see this cop car flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heart beats fast. Of course, he knows the plight of a Negro, what it could be. And then when that cop car passed him by, he says, thank God he wasn't after you in the first place, punk. That Negro thing you can't get away from. It's universal. They wasn't coming after you. With all your millions, with your Rolls Royce, with your PhD, didn't help. That's the hood. Why do you think you never pick up the paper to read over and over and see white families? You think of the thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families crying as black cops got my loved one 42 times in the back of the head? Why do you think black cops don't do that? You think they're more spiritual? Think they're better? No! They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And I will stop in our neighborhood when we decide we will not tolerate it. Now, if we was organized, which is hard to organize people who are just gonna run crazy and you don't know you're crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, and the many people who would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro, and we said, if we said, look, we saying, if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that any time a cop or anybody carry a gun, have to have a license just like you do to drive a car. And if you use it wrongly, you'll lose your license. And if it's upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store guard or a private detective. How do you get Congress to push that through? Well, you take your economic power and you call on your friends, black, white, young and old, and say, this coming Christmas, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, then we call them for a nationwide boycott of Christmas and it'll start on Thanksgiving. Well, let me tell you what that means. 79% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People stay in business all year, lose money just for Christmas, huh? Well, what happens now? Saks Fifth Avenue, Toys R Us, Sears and Roebuck, Westinghouse. They will get the bill, and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, that's the senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power, but the system has wiped us out so bad.
Van 10 and Lincoln 6. Go ahead. We have a suspect down, 10-4. That's 10-4. The officer's code 4. We have one suspect that's been shot.
Open your minds. How about now? Am I back now? Yeah, I keep forgetting, man, that this mic and shit got controls and shit on it and the buttons and shit up here. I'm old, y'all. I forget all the shit I got hooked up in here. So sometimes I forget to turn the mic on, turn the board on. So I just got to bear with an old fella from time to time. But welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought series right here on the old T.P.O.T. YouTube page. I am your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black asses are here. As you can see from the title down there, and this handsome brother here, Brother LYNELL GHANT from the Black Brain Trust, will be in the house, and he will be discussing the Bitcoin boom. But before we get started, like always, I have to thank you good folks, man, who hang out there, and you good folks who hang out in here for your likes, your shares, your subscriptions, and of course, your hard-earned pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and 50-cent pieces, because you don't have to do it. You don't, but you choose to do it. You choose to watch these videos. You choose to share, like them, view them. And of course, you choose to drop your hard-earned coins on this platform. And I want y'all to know, man, that it's appreciated. I'm humbled. I'm honored. I'm thankful, man. And every night I get on here, man, I try to let y'all know, man, that I don't take it lightly, lightly, I should say, and I don't take you, good folks, lightly. All right. I'm very appreciative, man, and I'm very thankful, man, for all you good folks out there, man. And I just want you to know, man, that it's appreciated here at T.P.O.T. And anybody who thinks that it's not, you're out of your damn mind, because it is. All right. All right. But like I said, Brother LYNELL is here from the Black Brain Trust, and he's going to be talking about the Bitcoin boom. But I said earlier, y'all saw when we first came on, that this is the first stream of a T.P.O.T. double header, because right after the good brother LYNELL GHANT, we will have none other than Ike Ogamin will be in the house, and he will be talking about the elements of success. So make sure you stick around after this here show as well. What we're probably going to do, what we're going to do is we're going to stop this stream at about 9:30. We're going to take a little break, stretch our legs, and we're going to come on back with the good brother Ike. So make sure you stick around, all right? Got some heavy hitters in the house tonight, and I know they're going to say some things that you're going to wish you have heard if you miss it. So, without further delay, let me bring in my folk. Brother Linnell. What's good with it, man?
Hello, hello. How you doing today? Am I coming in clear?
Yeah, man, you sounding good, man. It's been a while, Brother Linnell, since you and I, man, have had a sit down, my brother. How you been?
I'm good. I'm been well. How you been?
Good, man. Trying to get into the spirit of 2021 and do some things different and hopefully be better this year than I was last year.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know. But I'm glad that you came on tonight because I've heard a lot of talk of the Bitcoin boom or the Bitcoin game, if you will. And myself, I know nothing about Bitcoin. Now I've heard of it. And it's crazy because today I was talking to one of my bros and we were talking stocks because I do own some stocks. And I was telling him that I was looking to maybe dump some of them and maybe get into Bitcoin. So it's a good thing that you're here. And won't you just go ahead and tell the good folks a little something about the Bitcoin, and then we can get on into it. And in fact, tell them what it is for those who don't know.
All right. Well, thank you for having me on the show. Well, first of all, some of the explanations on what Bitcoin is widely known that it is a digital currency. Came along in 2008. The creators, go by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto. There was previous iterations of a cryptocurrency, but Bitcoin is the one that had the stand power to stay, that got it, right, hit the nail right on the head. And since then, it's just been here. In its early days, it's been synonymous with the Silk Road, which was a online drug operation, but that was shut down. And throughout the years, it's just have been gaining steam, gaining popularity, gaining adoption. The big, huge companies in the likes of Fidelity, J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, these larger institutions that you hear about every day, these household names such as uh, hedge fund managers such as Stanley Druckenmiller, Paul Tudor Jones, Mark Cubans of the world. A lot of them are starting to get into it more and more and more. Even the last month, if I'm not mistaken, there was an insurance company, Mass Mutual, that started to put Bitcoin on its asset balance sheet. And Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, but the main word people should pay attention to in that is it's a currency in terms that you can invest in it. It can, well, you can buy things with it also, obviously, but it does appreciate in value. And throughout these years, it's been here. It's starting to find its way in terms of where it belongs on the global stage. And it's starting to become a global currency where people can put a percentage of their net worth in and just go anywhere in the world they wish to go and just spend Bitcoin like it's a regular local currency. So it is multifaceted. There are levels in terms of understanding it. People can look into it, and as the days go, as the months pass, and as the years pass, it's going to become more and more important.
So is is Bitcoin comparable to be invested in Bitcoin? Is it comparable to being invested in stocks? Is that comparable?
Yes, it's another asset class that's it's a nascent asset class, meaning it's new. It's not, obviously, it hasn't been around, in the likes of the bond market, treasury market, options, futures, stocks. It hasn't been around that long, but it's finding its legs as a new asset class to invest in. I mean, when you start to have large institutions such as BlackRock, and I mentioned before Fidelity, and you're pushing the American financial government to draft up laws in order to regulate it, in order to dole out regulations that institutions want, at that point you're starting to say, hey, it is comfortable to as an investment vehicle.
Yeah, well, I've heard so much about it. Because my son, my youngest son, he talks about it a lot. And he's like, "Oh, Pop, you need to get into Bitcoin. You need to get into Bitcoin." And I'm old school, so I'm weary of new shit. I'm kind of weary because I mean the stocks that I have, I first started buying them. Some of those stocks, man, I've had for like 20 years. I started buying them, when I was like in my late 20s and early 30s. And they've been good to me. You know, uh Many of them have more than quadrupled over the course of time. I think I did my last stock purchase. I haven't bought any in a while, but I did my last stock purchase, I believe, in 2005, I believe. I'm paying more attention to my stocks now, now that I'm older, because my every intention was to leave them to my grandchildren, way before I even had any. I said, well, if I live to be old, at least I can leave this, to my grandbabies. And here I am, a grandfather now. So I pay a whole hell of a lot more attention to my investments now. And some of the stocks that I own, because I have stocks in few companies, and some of them are dipping and rising and dipping and rising, and they're not really stable. So I want to get myself into something, because I was talking to my brother today. We was talking about the stocks today, and I want to get the stocks. I want to be invested in something that's a little more stable, if you know what I'm saying. So is Bitcoin something that pretty much remains stable? I know all things, like with my stocks, they dip and they come back up, and you have all that kind of stuff going on. Is Bitcoin a stable investment? Is what I'm asking.
I wouldn't say stable, because one of the words that's being kicked around that for people that come to the industry, that is too volatile. And to be accurate, the definition of volatile is liability of change rapidly and unpredictably. Bitcoin just topped out a few days ago at $42,000, and then it tanked to $30,000. That's a steep decline, but right now it's at 37,000. So people may not want to stomach those type of declines. And as the price of Bitcoin goes up, the higher and higher it goes, yes, it can do wonders to people's net worth. It can do wonders to people's portfolio. But along the way, as the price goes up, you are susceptible to large declines. Just an example. J.P. Morgan Chase has a price prediction of Bitcoin toward the end of the year of $164,000. Now, I'm not saying I agree with that or not. I'm using them because they are one of the people quote in terms of the price predictions. But
Mm,
let's say it is 164,000 by the end of the year. Well, a correction could go down to 130,000, 125,000. Would a person want those type of volatile swings, those type of swings in the market? So me personally, I would stick to stocks, or a person can diversify, the good old D word, have a portion of their net worth in stocks, have a portion of their net worth in cryptocurrencies. Me personally, I came to the cryptocurrency world from the stock world. Me myself, I purchased my first stock. I remember it was Coca-Cola, AT&T or Coca-Cola back in 2007. And I came over from the stock world, and I love dividend stocks. I'm not, even though
mhm.
you know me as the cryptocurrency person of the manosphere, I still love stocks too. I still love dividend stocks, and I would say for me, I would still be and keep diversified in the stock world, have 1 foot in the stock world and 1 foot in the cryptocurrency world?
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, because see, like I said, I'm old school, and I'm scared of losing my money.
Mhm.
So I don't want to. If I was to get involved with Bitcoin, I wouldn't make a quote unquote new investment. What I would do is I would, unload, the stocks that I haven't been too impressed with lately, unload and, try to purchase said Bitcoin with that, with those proceeds. I wouldn't want to take, other money, to get involved with the Bitcoin. I would want to take the proceeds from the stocks that I dump and do it like that. Um,
Yeah, you're
but
talking about a profile, not a profile, but a portfolio restructuring.
yes,
You'll get rid of
yes.
the ones that underperform, that you're, like you just said,
Mhm.
not happy with, and restructure your portfolio. Take that money out and put it into something that has the potential to bring you better returns than where the money was sitting at for the past X amount of time.
Yeah, because you know, one bit of stock that I own, um, I mean the dividend yielding is quite low. Um, I think it's at like 1.2% or some shit like that. And just like really low. So I mean, I haven't been happy with it over the past couple of years. And my advisor told me to hold, because I actually, when it dipped, I was actually going to buy some more, because the company that I invested in, they have kind of restructured the company, and they've sold parts of the company because they owned quite a bit of companies, and three of those companies that were part of that conglomerate, they got rid of. So when they got rid of those three parts, that shit dipped. I mean, it took a hellified dip. And I was like, and you look, man, at the statements, and because I'm very heavy into YTD, year to date. Okay,
Mhm.
that's kind of my thing. Man, that YTD look crazy. I'm like, oh man, I should have got rid of this shit
Yeah.
last year. So that's where I'm at with it. But let me ask you this: far as the Bitcoin goes in the cryptocurrency, is it good for long term? Because many people have told me that it's a good short term investment, but long term is something different. So expound on that, if you will.
So me personally, I believe in a long term. We have so many institutions getting into it, and it tends to oh, so on my channel, well, no, I read about cryptocurrency news and insights every day. I post a video every day, and I start to notice a trend where first you will have in the beginning of last year, Square, the company Jack Dorsey owns, and Square owns Cash App, and they started to allow, they've been doing this, but they started to purchase more Bitcoin, and then PayPal said that, well, we're going to allow people to, and I'm just going a roundabout way to answer this question. We're going to allow people to purchase cryptocurrency on our platform. And then you start to see more and more institutions. Now, it's not a rainfall of institutions, but you're starting to see more and more institutions trickle in and purchase Bitcoin to put it on their asset balance sheets instead of loading it up with gold, real estate, or any other commodity. They'll also purchase Bitcoin. So now this bull run, this Bitcoin boom, is more of a institutional push up. Institutions are driving this push up. And institutions, they have long term goals. They have long term, decade long investment strategies, what a company will go. So me personally, I look at Bitcoin as a long-term play. 10 months ago in March of 2020, not too many people was checking for Bitcoin. Not too many people was checking for stocks. But as we've seen these past 10 months, everything went up. And including Bitcoin, now everyone's checking for it. So now you have a lot of people talking about, like you say, it's a short-term play, but me personally, I think it's a very long play. Me personally, I think it doesn't matter if a person invests in it, if they're in it for the long term. If they're in it for the long term, then it doesn't matter where Bitcoin will go in the short term.
Hmm. So, what would you tell somebody, somebody like me? Because, I know a little bit about investing. I mean, I've been doing it for, 20 some odd years. But like I said, I know nothing about Bitcoin. But what would you tell a person who says, well, Brother Linnell, I came into a little money. I want to, I think I want to get into some Bitcoin, even though I don't know a damn thing about it. What would you tell that person?
Okay, so if a person came to me and said they came into a little bit of money, excuse me. So a little bit of money to me can be, I'll use nice round psychological numbers. Let's say 10,000, nice round psychological number. Even, you know, people understand what $10,000 is. I would not say to that person, put everything in Bitcoin, because like I've said on previous panels, it's hard for me to justify person getting into Bitcoin at $42,000 because I've seen it go literally 10x from 4,000 to $40,000. So now
Mm,
people are hearing this. They're hearing it about Bitcoin on their local news. They're hearing about Bitcoin on Fox, CNN, CNBC, ABC, dot dot dot. So now you got people that say, "Well, man, I need to get on this train ride." But assets correct. Assets go up and down. No asset, be it Johnson and Johnson, Tesla, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, BP Gas, no asset goes up forever. No asset goes down forever. Price fluctuates. So I will have a nice talk with that person and say, hey, if you want to invest in Bitcoin, you know, hey man, I think you should put a percentage of your money into Bitcoin, because what happens is a lot of people are risk averse. If they haven't, or if they don't invest a lot, they're risk averse. So now you could be looking at a situation where a person put their money into Bitcoin, and in the back of their mind, they're thinking, well, since I invested in Bitcoin, the price should go up. But when the price goes down, they get panic. They see their account or their worth in the cryptocurrency go down, so now they want to sell, not realizing that, hey man, you're in it for the long run. These price swings are going to be, they are part and parcel of being a long-term investor. So simply enough, I would just say, hey man, don't put the entire bag, as they say now, into Bitcoin. Put a small percentage, put something that you are comfortable with, and I know that's cliche, but it still holds true. It still holds water. Put something
mm,
you're comfortable with. People always, a lot of asset managers, they always say, they put 1%, put 1% of your net worth, or in terms of your investments in the crypto, because of the price is volatile. If the if it goes up, and they were saying this when Bitcoin was $4,000, $7,000. If it goes up, hey, congratulations, pat on the back, cigars. But if it goes down, it's only 1% of your net worth.
mm. So, what would you advise a person to? What should be your minimum investment in Bitcoin? Your minimum.
Well, support for me to say I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm just going over what I would do. Um, me, it depends on obviously it depends on how much the person makes. I can't say, oh, put these this triple digits in, but there could be people that may not have enough to put a triple digit amount into Bitcoin. So I
Mm,
would say, obviously, the soft answer would be put as much as you're comfortable with. It can be
mhm,
$100, it can be $200, but you do that consistently. then you will start to see the amount that you put in build up. Not only build up, but let's say Bitcoin goes up. Also, you start to get those returns added on as you put money in. I'll give an example just to answer this question more clearly. I'm practicing trading. I'm practicing being a trader. Shout out to Dollar Will, he's in the chat as my mentor. I'll look at some people on YouTube that started out trading. They say, man, I started out trading 4 or 5 years ago. And a common theme is always this. Yeah, I put money in my account to trade. And then I always, every time I got paid, I put money into it. I put money into it. I put money into it while they were trading. And all of a sudden they looked up, they were able to trade a large amount of money. And they got to the point that they were at while you were looking at their YouTube channel and they're driving some McLaren or a Lamborghini down the street. To take what
Mm.
I just said to bring it back over to Bitcoin, every time you get paid, if people are headstrong on investing, and this is just in this what I'm talking about goes to the stock world, goes to any kind of investing. People get paid, they pay their bills, make sure they're straight. And I understand people, we're humans. We want to be around each other. So, people live a social life. But make sure you put some money into investing every time you get paid. That's how it goes. Because if you don't, when will you? So it has to be
Yeah.
a part. It has to be a part of your bills also. Have to be a part. It has to be a part of you also. So that's the best way I can answer that question, short of saying, oh, put X amount of this. No, not you, but put X amount of this into Bitcoin every time you get paid.
Well, Bitcoin is just like it's sort of like stocks though, right? There's different levels, there's different names, there's different, all of that kind of stuff, right? It's not just this one thing. It's actually it's its own market, correct?
Right. So
There's different
Bitcoin,
levels to it.
right, right. So you got the cryptocurrency space, and Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, but you also have Ethereum, you have XRP, you have Litecoin, Cardano, and other cryptocurrency assets that people can invest in. Bitcoin is not the only one. There are hundreds of them now. Well, actually, thousands of them. Now, that just because there are thousands of cryptocurrency assets does not mean each and every one is worth investing in. In the stock world, you have the S&P 500. You have zombie companies in the S&P 500, not to throw shade on the S&P 500, but it is what it is. You got the Dow, you got the Russell 2000, which is 2,000 companies. In the Russell 2000, you have the pink sheets or the penny stocks. But not every a person is not going to invest in each and every last one of a stock that's traded on a New York Stock Exchange, the Nasdaq, and so forth. So people mainly invest in a top tier blue chip cream of the crop stocks, such as everybody want a piece of Apple. Tesla is the darling of the stock world. So people tend to only look at the top tier ones. And that same logic should go to the cryptocurrency space. Now, what happens is people look at these coins that are less than $1, and they look at their previous all-time high, which could be $2, $3, $4. So in some instances, $5, and they start getting dollar signs in their eyes, and they don't pay attention to other metrics that a person should take a look at, making sure this crypto or example is making sure this cryptocurrency have enough volume, flowing through it on a 24-hour basis. So me, I only stick to the top tier cryptocurrencies such as your Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, and so forth and so forth. Yes, you can get a bigger ROI with an Ethereum, which is the second largest cryptocurrency. Yes, if you want to do that, go right ahead because not everybody can afford a $37,000 to invest in Bitcoin. Now, side note to that, you don't need $37,000 to invest in Bitcoin. You can purchase fractions of Bitcoin, fractions of Ethereum, and all the other cryptocurrencies, just like you can purchase fractions of Amazon which is $3,000. You don't need a total 3,000. You can purchase fractions. So there's multiple ways to go about it. Don't feel just because you hear all these people on YouTube or in the comment section of below a video saying, "Oh, I made all this money on cryptocurrencies." Don't do stay in your lane. And that lane will do just fine.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're see, my thing is this. This is my thing. I mean, I've had investments in a couple companies for quite some time. Um, and well, let me ask you this: is it similar? I mean, are you getting the reports? Because I know I get reports. I talk with my advisor, pretty frequently, over the course of the years. Do you get that? I mean, do you have to constantly be checking them? Should you have someone, advising you and making buys and sells for you? I mean, does it, or is it something you can just do yourself?
It's definitely something you can do yourself. You don't get reports like you get in a stock world, with the stock world of companies. They post their reports, and you go to Amazon Finance and look at the financials of a company. You look at the bottom line, you look at their EBITDA, but with cryptocurrency, especially with Bitcoin is the number one cryptocurrency. There's no reports. There's no company saying, hey, this is what Bitcoin did, blah, blah, blah. It's mainly looking at one of these online market watchers on
Mm,
websites such as Live Coin Watch or Coin Market Cap, and looking at what Bitcoin has been doing, looking at the charts, seeing where Bitcoin is, seeing. So it's a lot of times, and just sticking with Bitcoin because it doesn't have a face to the name. So like a Elon Musk is a face to Tesla. You just have to really be not glued to the charts, but just have an ear out, an eye out to where the price of Bitcoin is doing. These other crypto assets, they have faces to the development team, such as Ethereum with Vitalik Buterin, XRP with the Ripple company. But with Bitcoin, there's no reports at the end of the year. There's no quarterly reports, no yearly reports that people can actually go to and look at and deep dive into.
mm. So
Now,
basically, if I get
go
into
ahead.
Bitcoin, I can dump my advisor. Can
You can,
I
you can, you
dump
can.
him?
Now, some advisors within the advising space, I've heard mixed results in terms of some advisors will advise against cryptocurrency because they say, oh, you start to hear these buzzwords pop out then. Oh, it's too volatile. Oh, it's too new. Oh, there's no regulation. And you also have advisors that are hip to it. They may be younger because it's well known that cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, you have a lot of millennials and zennials getting into it.
Mhm,
You may not have as much baby boomers into it. You have some Gen Xers into it, but not as in terms of the whole demographic. There's more millennials and zennials into it. So you may have advisors that are younger, and they can run down the game on what cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is. And they may say, like I said previously, hey, you don't have to put a significant portion of your assets. And I've heard advisors speak about this. Me personally, I haven't spoke to one, but just in passing, I've heard them say this. Hey, you don't have to put an absorbent amount of your portfolio into cryptocurrency because a lot of people are skeptical. They want to test the water. They want to put their foot in, but they don't want their foot to get wet. So now
yeah,
you hearing so now you at a conundrum. You at a fork in the road. So they'll say, okay, you don't have to put your foot in. Put three toes in. Is that fine? And just to get them comfortable.
yeah. Because I spoke. Luckily, my advisor, I'm related to him, so and he told me that, X, you got to be careful. You put all this money, in the Bitcoin and it dips, you might lose some, and I mean, that's a risk no matter what. I mean, because I've lost some money on the stocks over the course of say 5 to 10 years. So that wouldn't be anything new. But he did tell me he said it was more of a short term thing, get in, get out, get in, get out kind of thing. So what's your take on that?
Well, if everyone's not available to look at the charts to get in, get out, get in, get out, and it also depends on your time horizon of, okay, when do you get in and when do you get out? If you're talking about, oh, I'm getting in this month, and then in March or April I'm going to get out, and then in June I'm going to get in, and August, September I'm going to get out. A person can do that. A person may forget if they're not in tune to that type of investing. Me personally, like I said, I'm in it for the long term. I'm in it. I've been in the crypto space since mid 2017. I've been in it when the 2017 bull run collapsed. I've been in it when it went from 19, $20,000 down to 35,000 to 39,000. I was in it, and I'm still in it. And because I was in it, I was rewarded with this 10x. And now I'm sitting on your prestigious show in the manosphere talking about cryptocurrency. So I'm in it for the long term. When people were in Bitcoin when it was early 2017, when it was $1,000, or no, actually it was less than $1,000. You know, if they were in it for the short term, yeah, they could have got some money, but for those that stay a little longer, they were better rewarded. And me personally, I'm in it for the long term. Bitcoin is not just an investment you can put your money in and invest. You can actually spend it on things. You don't have to cash out of Bitcoin. You don't have to, because it's a multifaceted investment. You can put that big round number of $100,000 in Bitcoin, and you don't have to never take it out. Let's say it does go up to these numbers that these institutions are saying it can go up to. You don't have to take it out. You can go and get a crypto credit card and just start swiping. Bat at those pair of Jordans. Bat at cologne. You don't never necessarily have to cash out of Bitcoin, because
Yeah, because you have like I do know that you have like a Bitcoin wallet, so to speak, right? Where you can
yeah,
like go and you have access to it, and wherever they accept cryptocurrency, you can basically, like you said, like use it, like a credit card, right?
yep, you can do that. Yep.
I gotta think it over, man. I don't know, man. I'm gonna look into some things, man. I'm gonna, I gotta see, man. I gotta see,
It takes
but
time.
like,
It takes
yeah,
time, and
yeah.
that's why I'm here. Like I say on my channel, I talk about it every day. I release a video every day in podcast form where I go over 5 or 6 topics of the most pertinent information in the cryptocurrency space. And those 5 or 6 topics can be over regulation, can be over, Visa released a crypto credit card, or banks are going to allow people to start holding Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So I talk about it every day, and that's why I'm here. Well, my one of my what's the word I'm looking for here? One of my reasons, lack of a better word here, reasons in the manosphere is I'm the crypto guy. You know,
Mm. Yeah,
everybody
I
has
know.
their
I
part.
know. I
So
know.
anybody asks me questions, I can I'll answer to my best of my ability. If I don't know the answer, I'm not going to blow smoke up in your face. I will find an answer, and I'll get in touch with the person. Hey man, this is what I found out about the question you asked me. You asked me.
Well, let me ask you this, because I know the stock game. It fluctuates. Based on what the government's doing, who's in office. What's going on. So is crypto similar? I mean, does it fluctuate based on like? we getting a new president coming in now. Is crypto going to rise, fall? Is it going to hold? Like, in your opinion?
Um, Me, I come from things from a pure technical analyst standpoint, but to answer that in a more fundamental fundamental way, uh, you could see swings in Bitcoin that does coincide with news events. You could see that, but I have yet to see Bitcoin tank because a politician said this, because a government agency said this. I've yet to see that.
Mm. So you don't really have to pay attention to what world events, the world events, because one of the companies that I invested in a very long time ago is a company called Service Master. And Service Master, they own Mary Mays, they own Servpro, they own Terminex, they own quite a bit of things. And they have changed. And now they're not even Service Master anymore. They're Terminex Holdings now, because I believe Terminex is the only company that they're owning outright. They dumped a lot of those other companies. But right before they dumped it, their stock went up a bit. Why? Because part of their company was about cleanups, sterilization, and all that kind of stuff. And with the COVID thing going on, their stock went up because, they have these sterilization companies and these cleanup companies. So, that's what I'm saying. World events have a tendency to shape, the way the market rolls,
Yeah,
and, I was just wondering if crypto is that way, but you say it's really not that type of game where, what's going on, like we have a hurricane or a storm or a pandemic or whatever the case may be, that's not really going to affect uh Bitcoin that much, right?
right. And Bitcoin is a global asset. It's not just within the territory or the boundaries or the borders, where I'm looking for here, of America or Canada or Europe or Asia or Africa or Southeast Asia or Latin America. It's a global currency. So now, right now, it's in the evening time, and the Western world is winding down to go to bed, and now you got the Eastern world that's getting ready to get up. So now Bitcoin price is going to move because the other side of the world is getting up.
Mm,
It's a global thing. So let's say China say, "Oh, we don't like this," and what they don't like may pertain to a company in America. Well, that company's stock is going to get hit because now investors are like, "Well, whatever they may think." Well, with Bitcoin, it's a global asset. It's a potential global currency. Well, let's say European Union say, well, you know what? We're not feeling Bitcoin. Well, you still got America, China, and all these other countries around India, Africa, around the world. Okay, you may not like it, but we still dig it.
mm, okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's giving me something to think about because, like I said, my son, he talks about it, and I know he's into it, but him and we've never like sat down and, like really talked about it. But he just keep telling me, "Oh, Pop, you need to get into Bitcoin," and I mean, like I said, I'm old school, so anything that makes me a little weary that I may
Yeah,
lose a bunch of money, I'm like, I don't know, man. But I hear brothers talk about it on the internet. Um, and it seems like I've heard more benefit then there's been more of an upside to what I hear as opposed to the downside I've been hearing. So that has piqued my interest, and like I said, I'm probably gonna dump a lot of the Service Master stock, I'm probably going to dump it. So, I figure I can, at least go in a little bit, with some of the proceeds, a little bit. I don't know how many. I'm thinking maybe to the tune of maybe 5 grand, possibly 10 grand, possibly. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm not trying to go too much. That's
Right.
I can I can afford to do that. With the proceeds from the other stock, I can afford to maybe do 5 or 10 grand. I could literally afford that. It wouldn't hurt. If it dips a little bit, it wouldn't hurt. But I don't think I can get into too much more than that. That's kind of my limit right there, because I ain't balling like that.
Now what you
I'm not balling
now
like that.
Now, what you could do, you could put a little bit in and say to yourself, well, the price is this. If it reaches this price, I'm gonna put a little bit more in. If it reaches this price, I'm gonna put a little more in. Or if it dips down to this price, I'll put a little bit more in, more bang for my butt, more bang for my buck. There's nothing saying that you have to put all of it in at once. You can put a little bit in, see where that goes, where that takes you. If you are happy with it, you can put a little bit more sugar in the tank, or sugar in the Kool-Aid. You know, if you're not happy with it, you can take a little bit more, a little bit more out. It depends on the person.
Yeah, because all this stuff I did when I was younger, when I didn't really know too much of anything. I was just, buying it because I had the avenue to do so at the time. But now that I'm older, you know, this stuff is literally, my grandchildren's future, along with, maybe the house, that kind of stuff. So that's what kind of makes me weary, because like I said, this is my grandchildren's future. I want to leave them something that's going to grow and build money, and if they want to cash it out and do whatever the hell they do with it, once I'm dead, that's on them. But I want to leave them something stable. Like I said before, I want to leave them something stable, and something that, you know if a disaster happens and somebody gets sick, or something happened, they can cash those assets out and be all right. You know what I'm saying? And possibly, have a decent amount of dividends, being yielded, that, if need be, it could keep their life afloat, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, that's kind of how I'm thinking now. Now that I'm old, I wasn't thinking that when I was a younger guy, but I think that way now. So that's what really has me kind of weary. But I do think putting, the 5 grand. I think putting 5 grand on it wouldn't be a bad thing. Maybe as much as 10. But I think that if I put 5 grand in it and just sit and watch it, but see, the difference with that is, you said that you don't really get reports. You have to kind of watch. You have to watch the digital boards. And that would be a problem with me, because I don't have a lot of time. I can't be always watching the board. And with my stocks, I have an advisor. I have someone who keeps me abreast. I get reports. I get phone calls. We talk. I can be lazy. Somewhat with the stocks. But from what you're saying, when it comes to the Bitcoin, well, I guess all of it you'd be doing yourself, right? You'd be
Yeah,
doing
well,
all of it yourself.
yeah, so with Bitcoin, what I do when I get up in the morning, I'll look at, the price of Bitcoin. And it's every morning I'll look at that just to see where it's at. I'm not glued to like you said, the digital boards every hour on the hour. I'll just look at it, that one or two times a day, and see where it's at. Now, what some advisors are doing is, yes, now they're saying their clients request Bitcoin advice, or ask for Bitcoin advice. So now they're starting to, get hip to the game, and uh, figure out a way to advise their clients on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Or some may say, well, even though there's no reports at the end of the quarter, fiscal year, so forth and so forth, if Bitcoin moves a certain percentage, then they'll let their clients know, hey, this thing has moved X amount of percentage, what you want to do. So you're going to start, and you're starting to see clients, not clients, advisors incorporate Bitcoin into their their I can't think of a word right now to use.
Their
Incorporate,
wheelhouse.
right, their wheelhouse some type of
So
way.
so there is no, well, I guess there is, but I guess it would be kind of new, right? There's not, like me, I have a financial advisor, I have that. So there is no a Bitcoin advisor, so to speak. That's not a specific title where you manage someone's Bitcoin accounts. That's not an official title for anyone, right?
No, not that I know of. Not an official title, no.
Okay. Okay. So it's
Yeah.
basically something that you would have to, do yourself, watch the digital charts, stay abreast of it. Um, okay.
Now,
Well,
mind you, as more and more people ask their financial advisors about this cryptocurrencies thing, then these financial advisors are going to wise up and say, well, you know what? They're asking for this. I'm gonna learn as much as I can to advise my clients. There's one guy on YouTube. I look at his videos a lot. Jeff Rose. He's a financial advisor, and he talks about Bitcoin every now and then. And he always say, hey, get in it with a don't jump in it. You may want to get in the kiddie side of the pool, but it's something that you cannot ignore. So now
hmm,
the question becomes, what kind of exposure do I want to it now?
hmm,
This is a nugget right here. For those that don't want to purchase Bitcoin, you still can get exposure to Bitcoin by buying a stock, which is called
yeah,
the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And what they do, and you can buy the stock on your E-Trade, your TD Ameritrades, your Charles Schwab's, your brokerage, your brokerage uh, uh, accounts, the big brokerage houses,
yeah.
and
Things like Merrill Lynch and
yep,
places like that.
yep. And what they do is they purchase Bitcoin via investments. So institution, I think it was a institution, a company, a business that bought 600,000 shares of this Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, giving them an equivalent exposure of 37,000 Bitcoin. Because with every share you buy, you get exposure to a fraction of a Bitcoin. So for those that don't want to purchase Bitcoin and go through all the hassle of this or that, you can actually go on the stock exchange and buy this Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, ticker symbol GBTC, and get exposure to Bitcoin. The same thing with Ethereum. The same company, they have some a Ethereum trust called ETHE. So for those that don't want to purchase a cryptocurrency, you can get exposure to the cryptocurrency by purchasing those stocks on the stock exchange.
Hmm. That's good to know, man. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, man, I've heard so much, about it. I've heard so much about Bitcoin and, and you hear it from, a lot of times you hear from people who don't know what the hell they're talking about. But,
Hmm.
you do hear it from brothers who are experienced in it, like yourself, and others that I listen to. And, it's piqued my interest, man. It really has piqued my interest. And anything that I think I can invest in and I see it rising over the next few years, because I don't have a lot. I have less years in front of me than I do behind me. So if I can see if I can see it yielding some dividends over the course of some years, that piques my interest. You
Mm,
know, it really does. So I have to look into it because, like I said, I'm really considering dumping, some of the stocks that I have, and go ahead and turn around, man, and restructure. Just restructure the whole portfolio, man, and see if I can do something with, a little bit of money from, put a little money on this Bitcoin thing, man. See how it goes. Uh, hopefully hopefully it does better than those particular stocks, so there's that. See, I'm so scared that I'm going to do it and I'm going to lose a whole hell of a lot of money, more money than I've lost over the course of many years. So
yeah.
I have to sit and think about that, and like I said, I have to sit down and talk to my advisor, and kind of see what he thinks, because if I tell him, well, I want to throw maybe 5 grand on it, he gonna be trying to say, oh man, only do 2. He gonna tell me that. I already know what he gonna say. Oh no, X only do 2 or 1. He's
Mm,
gonna tell me that's what he's gonna say. That's what he's gonna say. If I be like, well, I want to go ahead, put 5 grand in, he gonna be like, no, just put 2. That's gonna be his freaking advice. Because he's gonna be like, oh, X, you're not experienced, with it, and you don't know how it's gonna be. Because he's kind of, when I talked to him last, he's kind of he's kind of against like Bitcoin a little bit. He's not really, telling me go ahead, do it. He's not there. I guess because he's my age, we both old dudes, he's not a young guy. Um, he's telling me to be careful, because I've talked to him about it, and I told him, that, you would be on today and we'd be talking about it. And he was like, just be careful, just don't jump in. He kind of gave me the whole line that you gave, just put your toe in type thing. So he's not really with the he's not really with the Bitcoin thing, man. He's giving me all the lines to make me reluctant, to be honest. He's
now,
telling me everything he tells me makes me reluctant to do it. So
I do agree with him in terms of don't put everything in.
mhm.
Put a few toes in. But
Okay.
the fork in the road comes in. Let's say Bitcoin goes up, you know, to 50,000. Then his client's gonna be looking at him like, "Hey, man, you told me only to put, this small minute number in. If I would have put a little bit more in, I would have had a little bit. I would have had a little bit more return. Let's say Bitcoin goes to $60,000. So as Bitcoin moves up, yeah, the price is going to go down in the near term. Me personally, I believe that, but in the long term, it goes up, and these, not just him, but financial advisors all around the world, their clients are going to be looking at them saying, "Hey, man, this thing is going up. What kind of advice are you giving me?" So
Yeah.
you, as an advisor, not I'm not an advisor, but advisors can't be staunch negative cryptocurrency, can't be staunch against cryptocurrency, because it's going to come a time where, like, the last 10 months, Bitcoin was at $4,000, and I guarantee you there were some people asking their advisor, "Hey man, should I get in? This thing is so low now." And some advisors said no, and it ballooned up to $40,000. And now their clients are looking at their advisor side eye like, "Hey man, you I'm you made me miss out on a 10x." So
Yeah.
it can, like I said, you can't ignore it. Now, there can be some disagreement and some agreements in terms of how to get into it, but I think people cannot ignore it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because like I said, I've heard some good things about it. I've heard some bad things about it, but I mean, I've heard a lot more good than bad. So, like I said, that has piqued my interest. And far as the far as the stock portfolio goes, I mean, I see it like this: it's something that I really don't need. I don't really need my stock guy for it anyway. I can kind of, from what you're saying, I can kind of manage it on my own. So, he'll be out of the loop anyway, and I think that's the problem. Because I mean, he's my cousin. The brother who advises me, he is my cousin, and he's been advising me for the past like 15 years. Past 15 years, and he hasn't told me not to do it. He hasn't said that. He hasn't said, "Oh, X, don't do it." He didn't say that, but he keeps, he puts those little tidbits in there where he said, "Well, you gotta be careful, be cautious, pay attention to what you want to invest in, watch the boards, all this kind of stuff." So I think it's more so a case he knows that, if I do it, it's something that he doesn't have to be involved in, directly, because he's directly involved with, my other investments and shit. He's my guy. He is my guy. And, he knows that if I get into this Bitcoin shit, I probably won't need his ass. I
Now,
think that's what it is more than anything else.
now I know whenever I talk to people on panels about Bitcoin, there's a few things that come up. People say, "Oh, it's a Ponzi scheme." People, just like now, someone said, "Tulip Mania." Just to address those things. So, Tulip Mania was this phenomenon that happened, I think, back in 1600s in the Dutch area of Europe. The reason it was a bubble and the reason it played out like it did was because of credit. People were taking credit out in order to buy these tulip bulbs that no one seen at that time in that part of the world. And so people were taking out credit, flipping them, well, buying tulip bulbs, flipping them. And at a certain point, these tulip bulbs got so expensive that no one would purchase them. So what crashed the market was these banks wanted obviously people to pay back their credit, but nobody was trading and buying and selling these tulips in order for these person to get the money to pay back their credit. So that's what crashed the market. The tulips themselves did not crash the market. It was the credit that was taken out around the tulip bulbs that crashed the market. So when people say, "Oh, Bitcoin mania is just another tulip mania," that's inaccurate, because there's no credit to buy Bitcoin to flip it. People are just investing into it. So now you also have this Ponzi scheme narrative. When people say that, they're telling me they don't understand the definition of a Ponzi scheme. The definition of a Ponzi scheme is a person or a company that is selling an investment, and the people who get in early, they're the ones that are reaping the rewards. Meaning, the person, the person who that the Ponzi scheme is synonymous with is Charles Ponzi. He had investors. He promised them a particular ROI, and he had to go around and look for new investors in order to pay his old investors their promised ROI. And that went on and on and on until he could not find new investors to invest in whatever he was trying to sell. And then the whole thing came down. The whole thing was exposed. So with those two explanations of Tulip Mania and the Ponzi scheme, it's clear that Bitcoin is not neither one of those.
Yeah, because with a Ponzi scheme, and once you run out of new investors, you're cooked. You're screwed, because you
Yeah,
you can't pay the people who got in, from the beginning. You can't pay them anymore. So that's when it starts crashing down, and you start getting phone calls, and they start showing up at the office.
right. Bernie Madoff.
Yeah, they start showing up at that office. Wondering where that money at, you know. But one thing that I think this whole Bitcoin boom, so to speak, quote unquote boom, I think that it's going to be it's probably going to be more part of our future than we think. I mean, I really believe that. I believe that when it comes to how money is now and the way things look far as money goes, that digital currency is going to become the new thing. You know, not everybody's going to be walking around with $100 bills in their pocket and all that kind of crap. I think it's going to be. I think this is going to be with us, man. I don't think it's going anywhere. It's
Right.
not going anywhere. It's going to be here. So at the very least, man, it deserves some investigation by OX, and it might deserve me putting a little bit of change down on it as well. Whether it be a little bit or a lot. Some change needs to go on it just to see what it does. I just want to see what it does. I'm tempted to put the money in just to see. I just want to see. That's all I want to do. That's what I was telling my cousin. I said, I just want to I think I want to kind of see, what happens. I want to see what it does. So, I mean, I say again, it's going to be with us for a while, man. So I think we better get used to it. And I think a lot of us need to get kind of versed on it as well, because it may be entering a lot of our lives sooner, as opposed to later. You know, that's just what I think. I don't know about everybody else, but I think it's going to be entering most of our lives. You know, over the course of the next couple of years, we're all going to have to, kind of get somewhat familiar with it, because what happens when, you know, there's someone who's offering a service that only takes Bitcoin. Imagine that. They only take cryptocurrency. And I think I can see that coming. Maybe not for everything, maybe not for every single, merchandiser or distributor or, retail place, but there's going to be some places where the only way you're going to be able to get anything is with some cryptocurrency. I can actually see that being a reality.
Now
But
there are. Oh, my
go
bad.
ahead. Go
There
ahead.
are building websites that only accept Bitcoin for the purchases of anything on the website. They that
Hmm.
that that's it's here. Now, in
Yeah.
terms of digital currency, you do have something called a central bank digital currency, or more commonly short for CBDCs, where you have federal banks around the world, central banks around the world, trying to create a digital version of that country's sovereign currency. So now, like you said, you're going to see less and less of a cash society, less and less $100 bills, $20 bills, $5 bills, because people already use a form of digital currency now. People may pay for their haircut with Cash App, buy a sandwich with their credit card, So now these countries are going to more of a central bank digital currency, where now the money is programmable. It's layers to it. And with Bitcoin can Bitcoin can exist alongside countries' sovereign currencies. Bitcoin, like I said, is a more global currency. And I see countries around the world acquiring Bitcoins in order to facilitate trade without using the dollar. So now you're looking at Bitcoin becoming a global strategic, um, I want to use the word pawn, but a global strategic form that countries are going to purchase in order to circumvent the dollar. So now people can have Bitcoin, go to these other countries, and we may not we don't know. Let's say you go to Jamaica and you want to buy something. Well, the price is going to be in dollars and Bitcoin. You go to another country, let's say Europe. The price of something is going to be priced in euros and Bitcoin. That could possibly well happen.
Hmm. Yeah, man, it's interesting, brother Linnell. It is, and I plan on looking into it. And who knows, man? Probably within the next month or so, man, I may have my hand in it, man. I may have a small hand in the crypto game, man. I may just have it. I may have to bring you back, man, and like within the month to let you know, yeah, man, I went ahead and did it, brother Linnell. Yeah, went ahead and did it. So yeah, you gonna be the first person I hit up, man. If like I said, I gotta look into it, man, and I gotta see what I need to do and how much money I'm actually able to put on it. And I got to see what these other stocks are doing as well, because that's where the money's coming from. It's not going to be no new money that I'm dumping into it. It's going to be some money that's already in some holdings, and get out from underneath some of this crap and use some of the money from those proceeds. So you and I got to get back on this, man, within the next 30 days, because if it's going to happen, it's going to be within the next 30 days. So you definitely got to come back, my brother. You definitely got to come back.
Anytime,
Definitely.
anytime, man, anytime.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming through, man. I got another show right after this. Any parting shots, man? But before we peel up out of here.
Thanks for having me on the show. Like I say on my channel on Crypto with LYNELL, I talk about the cryptocurrencies and insights every day. I release a pre-recorded video in podcast format between 25-30 minutes long, and I keep people abreast on the new goings on that's happening in the cryptocurrency space. And I thank you again for having me on
Oh,
the show.
absolutely.
Thanks.
Absolutely, man. Y'all get on down there, man, and subscribe to Brother Linnell, man. He dropping jewels on this crypto game. I'm glad you came up, man, because I wanted some clarity, and I wanted some clarity from somebody, I was familiar with. And man, you cleared a lot of things up, man. And I think I'm gonna put my hand in it, man. I think I'm gonna dip a toe in it, man. I think I'm gonna dip a toe in, man. Just one or two toes, not the whole foot. I'm
Right.
gonna dip a few toes in it, man. And like I said, when I do, you're gonna be the first person I hit up, man. Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. All right. I appreciate you coming through, my brother, man. And peace. And y'all get down there, man, and check out brother Linnell Gant. As a matter of fact, let's do this. How about we do this? My glasses on. So all right, there it is. Crypto with Linnell. Here is the YouTube channel. Brother Linnell's YouTube channel. It's Crypto with Linnell. Moderators, if you could, go ahead and spam Brother Linnell's channel never mind. I'll do it myself. Don't worry about it. I will do it myself. Get on down there, man, and check out Brother Linnell Gant. Brother Linnell is also a member of the Black Brain Trust, so you can also catch him down there as well. And once again, Brother Linnell, man, I appreciate you coming through, my brother, and we will talk again, my
All right.
brother,
Thank you. Have a good
my
one.
man. Peace.
All right.
Yeah, we just got off the line with Brother Linnell. Y'all get down there, man. Check him out. Subscribe to his channel. The link is in the chat room. Y'all go ahead and show Brother Linnell some love, man. Subscribe to his channel and check him out. He says he does a crypto stream every week, I believe. I don't know if he said every week. I think he said every week. So get on down there, man. Check him out, man, and learn some things, because I'm thinking about getting to the crypto game. So, I gotta see what it is, because I said all night I'm old school and I'm scared of losing money, but I am gonna dip a toe in. Oh, okay, every day. All right, my bad. He does a crypto stream every day, folks. Every single day he does one. So definitely get down there. You can get down there any day, and Brother LYNELL will be dropping some crypto game on you. All right. So get on down there, man, and check him out, man, because I'm going to go down there and I'm going to be watching him too, from the clouds to see if I can get some gems on what I should do as far as this Bitcoin thing is concerned. Absolutely. And I appreciate Brother LYNELL for coming through. But yeah, y'all know this is a T.P.O.T. double header. And coming up next, we got Brother Ike Ogamin will be here. So what we have to do is peel on up out of here in a minute. But yeah, like I said, Brother Ike Ogamin will be in the house, and he is going to be talking about the elements of success. So make sure you have your black behinds here. We're going to stop for a little minute. I'm going to stretch my legs and probably throw something in my face. All right. But we're going to come right back with Brother Ike Ogamin. All right. Because I want to split these things up. Y'all know that's how we do it here. So I'm going to split it up. And then we're going to come right back with Brother Ike, the elements of success. So make sure you have your black behinds here, Negroes. But yeah, this crypto game, man, is interesting. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know anything about it. So I suggest you talk to your financial advisor if you have one. Talk to brothers like LYNELL, for instance. Go down there, peep Brother LYNELL's channel, so you can get more familiar with it, because that's what I've been doing. I'm not the type to just kind of just leap into things. I like talking to brothers like LYNELL so I can kind of get a feel for it, so I can kind of throw this kind of stuff at my advisor and say, well, look, my man told me the other night that, it's X, Y, and Z, and you was telling me A, B, and C the other day, so I like having this stuff, in my wheelhouse. So I suggest you go ahead, man, and research it and all that kind of stuff, man, before you, dive right in, like with anything else, man, kind of know what it's about, man, especially when you're talking about finances and money, kind of know what something's about, man, before you start dumping money into it, but yeah, we're going to get ready to peel on up out of here. I appreciate y'all for coming through. Special shout out, man, to Brother LYNELL GHANT. Like I said, look right here in the old chat room here, and you can hit Brother LYNELL up. His channel is inside the chat. Go ahead down there, man. Subscribe to Brother LYNELL, man, and you might learn something like I learned something tonight. And I might have to investigate this cryptocurrency a little further. I might have to do it, y'all. I just might. Yeah, exactly. Brother Dollar will get your chart reading game up. Yeah, get that up too. But like I said, man, with anything, man, get to know what it is, man, before you find yourself involved with it, man. That's with anything, no matter what it is. You just don't want to jump up and jump into anything without knowing anything about it. I would advise anybody to do that, no matter what they're doing. But brothers have been talking really good about this Bitcoin thing, man, and I think some brothers is making some money on it. I don't think it's like this get rich overnight thing, because I have heard some people, talk about it like it's this get rich quick overnight thing. I don't believe it's that, because not too many things are that, but it is something that can benefit, your financial portfolio, man. And it's, if you're an old fella like me, and you have children and you have grandchildren, man, it's probably not a bad idea to invest in something, something that you can kind of pass down, because that's what I'm doing. That's why I have these investments. It's not for me. I live off of the, the money that I make, so You know, I've been fortunate over the years. I haven't had to cash none of my investments out, you know, or nothing like that. So, you know, I get to leave the grandbaby something, man. I get to leave them something. And who knows, man, you know, when my ass dead and gone, I might be able to leave them some Bitcoin. Who knows? But yeah, we're going to get ready to get up out of here. But before I go, I got to say this. A lot of you in here, in this chat room, you look and you see that you don't have your wrench anymore. Now, the reason why you don't have your wrench anymore is because I've been getting phone calls. I've been getting emails. And people who have been following me since I had 5 subscribers and 10 subscribers are telling me how they've been blocked, how their comments are getting erased, how they're getting timed out. And I've gotten quite a few, not 1, not 2. I mean, more like 5, 6. And I've gotten phone calls. So you know what that means? These are people who have my number. These are people I deal with outside of YouTube. Now, I don't usually go into my block list. I don't go into my moderators list. I don't usually do that. But I went into my block list the other day and I saw 15 names of people that have been following me for years. Years. And I know it's not that damn bot that's doing it. I had one person told me that they've been blocked for over a month. They just never said anything. All right. So I'm going to get to the bottom of it, folks. So this is what I have done. I have taken away the wrenches of people who, number 1, are faceless. Number 2, people that I don't deal with outside of YouTube. Number 3, people who are not my day oneers. Because, see, I have to get to the bottom of it. And if I continue to receive phone calls and emails from these people, I will take more. I will keep doing it until I get to the bottom of this. Because I don't think it's cool, man, for my mods to be blocking people who have been following me for 4 and 5 years. People who have contributed to this channel. People who have rode the hills and valleys of this channel for years. I just don't think it's cool that people are blocking them. I just don't. I don't know who's doing it, but I'm going to get to the bottom of it. Because like I said, 15 names. Now, it's one thing. You block people who in here saying stupid shit. That's different. But when you start blocking my folks, man, when my folks start getting blocked, I have to start taking wrenches. Because you can't be blocking my folks, man. That you can't do. You can't be blocking people who have supported this channel for years and years and years. I can't let you do it. It's not going to fly. And I'm willing to lose subscribers. I'm willing to lose views. I'm willing to lose all that shit. Like I said a long time ago, folks, I'm willing to lose all of it to have order in my court. And like I said, if I continue to get phone calls, if I continue to get personal emails, I will start taking more. Because I'm going to find out who's doing this shit. And like I said, I know a lot of you probably got caught up in that sweep. But understand this. It's not personal. It's procedural. Let me say that again. It's not personal. It's procedural. Because like I said, I'm not going to let the people who have rode with me for an extended amount of time. Y'all are not going to be doing that. And like I said, I'm determined to get to the bottom of it. Now, I know y'all may not like that, but this is how it's going to be. Y'all know how I do things, man. And I say again, I'm willing to lose views, subscribers, all of that shit to make sure I have order in my court. All right? All right. So, with that, I will leave you with 3 words. You know, like I always do. Well, actually, I'm going to leave you with a little more than 3 words because, like I said, bring your black behinds right back here because we're coming back with Brother Ike Ogamian. All right? So go stretch your legs, go smoke a cigarette, take a puff of a cigar, have a glass of lemonade or something, and bring your black behinds right back here because we'll be right back in about 5-10 minutes. All right? All right. So now I'll leave you with 3 words. You know, like I always do. Open your minds.
Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power.
And so a community is where you control your police, you control your commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a hood. Huh? Well, what about the Negroes that get out? Oh, well, say, my cousin, they say he's a multi-millionaire, almost got $1 billion.
The popular thought
3 PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hears these sirens and look through the mirror and see this cop car flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heart beats fast. Because he knows the price of a Negro, what it could be. And then when that cop car passed him by, he said, thank God he wasn't after you in the first place, punk. That Negro thing you can't get away from. It's universal. They wasn't coming after you. With all your millions, with your Rolls Royce, with your PhD, didn't help. That's the hood. Why do you think you never pick up the paper 3 weeks over and over and see white families travel? You think of the thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families smiling as black cops got my loved one 42 times in the back of the head? Why do you think black cops don't do that? You think they're more spiritual? Think they're better? No! They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And I will stop in our neighborhood when we decide we will not tolerate it. Now, if we was organized, which is hard to organize people who are just gonna run crazy and you don't know you're crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, and the many people who would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro, and we said, if we said, look, we saying, if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that anytime a cop or anybody carry a gun, have to have a license just like you do to drive a car. And if you use it wrongly, you'll lose your license. And if it's upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store guard or a private detective. How do you get Congress to push that through? Well, you take your economic power and you call on your friends, black, white, young and old, and say this coming Christmas, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, then we calling for a nationwide boycott of Christmas and it'll start on Thanksgiving. Well, let me tell you what that means. 79% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People stay in business all year, lose money just for Christmas, huh? Well, what happens now? Sac Fifth Avenue, Toys R Us, Sears and Roebuck, Weston House. They will get the bill, and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, that's the senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power, but the system has wiped us out so bad.
Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power.
Happy. San Antonio, Lincoln 6. Go ahead. We have a suspect down, 10-4. That's 10-4. The officer's code 4. We have one suspect that's been shot.
Open your mind.
Only from the Prophet of Thought Series Media.
You know.
Open your mind. 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 Open your mind.